Imagine a world where democracy is but a distant memory. A world where citizens have chosen not to exercise their fundamental right to vote. In today's exploration, we'll delve into the global effects if everyone stopped voting tomorrow. What would happen if the pillars of democracy crumbled? And how would our lives change? Throughout history, the right to vote has been a cornerstone of democracy. It is a tool for citizens to express their opinions, influence policy, and hold leaders accountable. Voting symbolizes participation in a shared future, the ability to drive change, and the empowerment of individuals. Yet, what if suddenly, no one turned up at the polling stations? First, let's consider the immediate impact on political systems worldwide. Without votes, governments would face a legitimacy crisis. Elected officials derive their power from the consent of the governed, typically demonstrated through elections. An abrupt cessation of voting would challenge the very foundation of representative systems. Governments might resort to force or coercion to maintain control, leading to authoritarian regimes rising unchallenged. The impact wouldn't stop at governments. The ripple effects would permeate society, influencing economics, social cohesion, and international relations. Unchecked governments could implement policies without public scrutiny or opposition. Taxation, spending, and regulatory changes might become less transparent, prompting economic instability. Socially, the effects would be profound. When citizens do not feel they have a say in their future, there's often a rise in apathy, cynicism, and disengagement from civic life. The community bonds that elections inherently foster might weaken. With fewer opportunities for collective decision-making, societal divisions could grow, exacerbating conflicts and unrest. On an international scale, the absence of a voting populace could lead to shifts in how nations interact. Diplomatic relations often hinge on the respect for democratic processes. If countries stopped exercising democracy, alliances could shift, and cooperative initiatives might disintegrate. Powerful, non-democratic countries might exploit this void, shifting global geopolitical dynamics dramatically. The domino effect of no future voting extends to the very essence of human rights and freedoms. History shows that societies with elected governments tend to be more stable, prosperous, and respectful of personal liberties. Without voting, the checks and balances that protect these rights could erode, leading to increased human rights violations. Moreover, this scenario wouldn't just affect current generations. The long-term consequences might curtail educational opportunities and media freedoms, further inhibiting informed citizenry. Lack of electoral engagement reduces the impetus for governments to prioritize education or a free press, both essential for developing critical thought and informed community members. To grasp the potential global impact, we need to look at voter turnout trends. Even today, countries face challenges with declining voter participation. Factors include disillusionment with political candidates, perceived ineffectiveness of voting, and systemic barriers to casting votes. If these trends aren't addressed, they might foreshadow the situation where not voting becomes the norm. Could technology provide a solution? Digital voting systems might offer increased accessibility. However, this too demands rigorous security and public trust, elements that need comprehensive development. Reflecting on this hypothetical scenario draws attention to the vital role voting plays in shaping societies. It underscores that each ballot cast is more than a mere choice. It is a voice in the symphony that orchestrates governance and societal structures. Yet despite the potential perils of abstaining from voting, it reminds us of the resilient human spirit. If faced with such challenges, history would likely see new forms of governance and protest emerge, demonstrating humankind's innate urge for freedom and representation. As we conclude, envisioning a world where no one votes compels us to appreciate the democratic virtues many take for granted. It reminds us that participation in voting is an engagement in democracy and an investment in the future, safeguarding freedoms and fostering unity. As citizens, our commitment to voting is an enduring gift to civilization, echoing the triumphs of democracy across the annals of history.